Right. Really good.
It's so hard.
Oh, you gonna smash Daddy's head.
Want to do one more?
Talofa family, welcome back to another video. So today we are making a smash cake. So you will need a metal bowl, some napkins, oil, your candy melts, and also all of the chocolates and lollies that you will use. So first up, we're going to melt our candy melts in the microwave for about 2 minutes. I normally use the Nestle candy melts back in Australia and New Zealand, but now that we're in Canada, I had to try and find an alternative, and this was the best that I could find, and cheap one too. So now we're ready to put into the microwave for 2 minutes. After about a minute of heating, then we will stir our chocolate melts and continue heating. We want to make sure that our chocolate melts are a good and smooth consistency. This is the consistency that we are after. Nice and smooth. This chocolate melt was actually pretty good. I was very surprised with the texture of the chocolate melt as well, which was nice. Now it's time to prep our bowl. We're going to put this metal bowl into the freezer, but before we do that, we are going to add some oil, canola oil, vegetable oil, whatever oil you want to use. You want to lather that inside of the metal bowl. This is to make sure that the chocolate melt doesn't stick to the bowl, and it just comes out easier when we remove it at the end, and you will see. Now we're going to pop this bowl into the freezer for about 5 minutes. Now we have our bowl that we've taken out from the freezer. We are going to add our chocolate melts to this bowl. So it's nice and cold, so once the chocolate melts goes into the bowl, it's going to just firm up really nicely. So we're going to try and get as much chocolate inside the bowl as we can. Making sure that we make the chocolate go right up to the edges of the bowl at the top of the bowl, so that our chocolate dome actually stands nicely when we put it on the board later. You want to try and layer the chocolate in as much as you can for this first time. We're going to try and layer the chocolate, and then we're going to put it in the freezer, let it freeze for 5 minutes, and then bring it back out again. And then we want to layer the chocolate on as well again. So you want to do this about 2 to 3 times to make sure that your chocolate dome is nice and thick and firm. Each time you're lathering the chocolate on, you're making sure you're filling in those gaps or the parts where you can see right through to the metal bowl, just to make sure that there is chocolate evenly dispersed among your bowl. So you see there how we have those gaps there. We want to try and fill those gaps in as much as we can, because we don't want our chocolate dome to have holes in it. So we want to make sure we fill those in with chocolate melt as much as we can. Hence why it's important to add chocolate melt, freeze it in the freezer for a bit, bring it back out and add more chocolate melt just to fill up all those gaps. So now we're popping it into the freezer to freeze for about 5 minutes. So there we have it. That's after the first freeze. You can see that there are still gaps, and you can see the metal bowl, which is what we don't want. So we're going to add some more chocolate melt, and I'm going to melt up the rest of my other chocolate melts that I have left, the other half of the packet, and we're going to try and lather in some more chocolate melt to fill in those gaps. So I've got some more chocolate melt now, and I'm going to add this into the bowl again. I'm going to just keep layering it until we don't see any gaps inside our chocolate dome. So this was my last round of adding the chocolate melt, and as you can see, it is starting to look really good, and there's no gaps inside the chocolate dome. So we'll put it in the freezer for 10 to 15 minutes, or until we see that the chocolate dome is starting to separate from the metal bowl at the top. So now we are going to add in all of our chocolates and our candies. I'm just going to form it into a little ball, just trying to stack them all on the chopping board that I'll be using to put the chocolate dome on top of. But I'm going to use some of the chocolates and candies that my kids like. In the past, I've also tried adding in little party favors inside them, inside the chocolate dome, and they've actually really enjoyed that too. But today I'm just going to be adding some lollies and some chocolates and also some ring pops, which they really like. So this is the tricky part, you guys, where you have to try and stack it on top of each other to make sure that your chocolate dome actually fits on top of all these chocolates. You'll know that your chocolate dome is ready when you put it on top, or you try and slide it out and put it on top of the chocolates and the chocolate comes out. If it doesn't come out, then you know that the chocolate isn't ready. So you'd put it back in the freezer for another 10 to 15 minutes until it's a little bit more firm, and then you bring it out. We also made some fondant to decorate his smash cake. We were going for the fire engine truck theme because Lincoln is obsessed with Marshall from Paw Patrol. So we did our very best to try and make a smash cake that reflected that theme of fire trucks, and yeah. It was hard, but we did our very best. But yeah, it actually turned out pretty good. The fondant wasn't too hard to make, which Brick did a good job making. So you want to make sure that you leave a little bit of extra chocolate melt at the end for decorating. I like to use this to help stick the candles on top of the smash cake, as well as other lollies and little bits and pieces. If I wanted to add them to the outside of the chocolate dome, then I use the chocolate melt to kind of like a glue for the smash cake. You guys, we were struggling a little bit with trying to get this fondant onto the smash cake, but that's why we have each other, so we can help each other. I'm so glad that my husband was helping me with this, because the fondant just, was not wanting to stay onto the cake, but we managed to get that on. You guys, it is such a fun process making the smash cakes. I really enjoy creating it for our kids and also for nieces and nephews. I've been making these since Arissa was about 3 years old. That's when I made their first one, and it's just been a fun tradition that the kids have had, having a smash cake. This is actually Link's first smash cake, because I haven't made one in so long, since Australia. I definitely recommend you try this for your kids. I promise they will love it too. So I'm just adding the final touches. I've added some signs, and now I'm adding his fire truck cars on top. And yeah, we're pretty much done, you guys. So this is the part where I was saying you'll need your chocolate melt so that you can stick the number or the candle on top of your smash cake at the very end. Also, shout out to my amazing husband / assistant cook for helping me today. And there we have it, you guys, your very own homemade smash cake. We also recommend that you leave your smash cake in the fridge to keep it nice and cool until you are ready to smash your cake. We hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.